Good afternoon and welcome to SportsLine YXE and part of my living room. I'm Linda Walker along with my heard but not seen co-host for the time being. My two budgies, Lefty Munster, Indiana. In case you hear a lot of chattering, it's not just me babbling on. We are going to talk basketball today. We're going to get to NBA a little bit later on, but I want to start with the Canadian Elite Basketball League because the season officially tips off today. Woo, woo. We have the Ottawa Blackjacks. I love that logo. And the Niagara River Lions tipping things off to start us with the season. Our Saskatchewan Rattlers are getting ready to head to British Columbia as they will take on the Fraser Valley Bandits Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, I believe it is our time. So joining me today is the head coach, Chad Jacobson. He is in his second year coaching the team. And we have one of the players. Chad, I'm going to let you introduce me, and I should know who the players are, but I will admit my ignorance at the moment. And welcome to both of you for coming on today.
Well, thank you so much for having us, Linda. We really appreciate your coverage. It's great to have the local support and the local coverage from the media here in Saskatoon, and just happy to be on the show. And along with me today is one of our guards, Kemi Osei, who was with us last year in the bubble, and he's back for year two, and we're excited to have him.
And this is great. It's wonderful to have the league starting back up again. You know, CEBL has certainly set the pace for all the other professional leagues to follow with doing the 6-game summer series last year to try to get some games in there. And then this year being right in to get the league going and somehow managing with 4 provinces and the different COVID rates to be able to get things working again. So you guys have to be really excited to be able to get going again.
Yeah, we are. We're really excited. I think the CEBL and the leadership, with our commissioner, Mike Moriali, and his staff have done a great job with, guiding us through these difficult times and providing an opportunity for, coaches and players to be able to do what we love to do, which is to play basketball and to coach basketball in a time when it's difficult to do that. So we're, really excited to be back. And as a coach, I'm excited, but, players like Kemi, these guys are itching and they're ready to get out and play. So I know you're excited to get out there too.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, and that's what I want to find out from a player's perspective. I mean, I know you got the 6 games last year in, but I'm sure that just whetted the appetite to want to say, please, can't we play some more? So now you've got your opportunity here.
Yeah, definitely. Last year was a short season, so we didn't get to have a taste of the whole league, which is well ran, like Coach said. But this year we get to almost have a full season, and then we get to get playoffs in our arenas. So I think that's big time.
The fans are going to be allowed to come back in starting July 12th, and you've got the defending champs, the Edmonton Stingers, in town that night. So can I get both of you to talk about what that's going to be like? Because the 6-game series, you guys weren't able to have fans in the stands, although, you at least got to play. I mean, that was the important piece. But, July 12th is not that far away, and to have butts in the seats, man, that's got to be something that you have to really be looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the Rattlers, organization in 2019 when, we won the championship here in Saskatoon. And without question, we have the best fans in the league. They supported the team. They were, coming to games, and it was just an electric environment when we got to play at home. So, I'm looking forward to that opportunity again, where we can put people in the stands and have people watching live sports again here in Saskatchewan.
Well, you're going to beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders for having fans in the stands because they don't have their first home game until August 25th. So that's got to feel pretty sweet as well. Not that there's a rivalry or different sports, but still, everybody's talking about being in the stands for the Riders and filling the seats. And I want to make mention, in case you haven't heard, that, I thought it would be really nice if Premier Mo might make a trip up to Saskatoon now that we know the date, July 12th, and watch some CEBL action. And I'm sure, we could find him a T-shirt that he could wear for the game, or if you've got the COVID mask in case he wants to mask up, because he's going to see the Riders. I would think he'd want to see a little more professional sports going on in the province, Jack.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm sure that we'll make that happen for Premier Mo, and that would be great. That would be a great opportunity.
For the players, what's the difference going between the empty seats and having fans in the stands? Because now you guys have had a chance to experience both. What's the difference for you guys? How much more revved up do you get when you got people yelling and trash talking the other team for you and really making things happen there?
It's definitely big time. It's a lot of help, support. They help us go on runs, and I think it puts a chip on our shoulder to give them a good show. I mean, these people pay for tickets, they support us, they follow us. I think it's a good thing. It's only right for us to just play hard for them, and make them want to come back and appreciate us for the work that we put in for them.
Now, Chad, this year with the roster, you've had a number of players who are coming back. Kai Williams, Jelaine Bruce, Lawrence Moore, Denzel Taylor. Are those guys, have they made the cut here from training camps? That doesn't always happen, where the veterans make it, because sometimes some of the new guys coming in really show themselves to, and how excellent they are as players. So are all these guys back with the team for the start of the season?
So all the names that you mentioned are back here for training camp, and we just wrapped up our final practice this morning before we head out to BC tomorrow morning. So we've as a coaching staff are still making some final decisions, and that roster is going to be released later today. But you know what, we were really excited with the returning players that we had from the bubble. I thought we brought back a good mix of guys that were key parts of what we did in the bubble. But at the same time, I'm really happy with the players that we brought in, the new players. I think Barry did a great job in going out and getting the right pieces, the pieces that we needed, to round this team out. And I'm just pleased with everybody and how they've performed and how they've competed at training camp.
Yeah, I was looking for the roster online this morning. I was hoping I'd have a little jump on my professional colleagues in the commercial media side, but no such luck. But that's okay, because I was thinking, but you mentioned the practice. I'll bet that. I want to ask about the two Huskies, Nervin Stemacine and Alex Dewar. How have they looked in training camp, Chad? Have they been what you expected and maybe a little bit more to be able to get a taste of professional basketball?
Well, Alexander Dewar has looked tremendous. I've had the opportunity to coach him as an assistant at the U of S for the last 3 years, and he's impressed everybody. I mean, I knew he was capable of competing at this level. He's a kid who never backs down from anybody, never backs down from a challenge. And I think he's impressed not only the coaching staff, but the players as well as teammates. He's really done a great job. And Nervin, who actually is from Montreal and was going to school at Bishop's out in Quebec, he's done well too. He's a really good athlete. He's strong. He's a very a good competitor, and I really like the energy that he's brought. The second Husky is Tyrese Patoma, a Regina kid who transferred to us last year from a Division I school at Cleveland State, and he's done well too. It's a big jump from university to the professional level, but I think he's done a good job, just picking his spots and doing what he can.
Yeah, I got my players mixed up there. Thank you for helping me out there. This show is a team effort as well to get everything right. So I appreciate that. Kemi, you've had a chance to play professional basketball in other places. From what you saw last year, and I appreciate it, it was a short season, but from what you've seen of the CEBL compared to some of the other leagues you've experienced, how would you rate the quality of play?
It's really good and really competitive, with really good coaches. Teams run good actions. They're great players coming from all over the place, overseas, Canada, South America. They come from everywhere. So these guys are looking to get in shape, to stay in shape, and come and compete in a high level league. We've seen the kind of players that's signing with teams, so it's definitely big time, and it's really up there. And the basketball that I played I think it's up there.
I know we've seen a number of Canadian players now. We're seeing it happen more often now. Canadian players getting drafted for the NBA. Is this a good stepping stone as well? If that's what you guys have in mind, that you're thinking, hey, I think I can play with the big guys in the NBA. You see this as being one of those positive stepping stones?
Yes, definitely. Even some of the guys, they played in the league and then they played overseas in big time leagues, and they're coming back here. And then you get to measure yourself against these guys, and you realize like, oh, I can keep up with those guys. At the end of the day, it's about mental toughness and competing. And I think if you do that well in this league, you should be all right.
Well, mental toughness has to be a big thing, not just if you're looking to graduate to the NBA, but you guys are playing all year round. You're here in Canada, but guys might be heading down to South America to play, or over to Europe to play, or I think there's some leagues in Asia. I mean, there seem to be leagues all over the place, and certainly there's some other leagues down in the United States as well. So, to be able to play all year and transition to the different styles, I mean, that's got to be not just being in shape physically, but that mental toughness has to come into play as well.
Yeah, definitely. And you're gonna go through highs, you're gonna go through lows. Just you gotta stay level-headed the whole time. Don't get too happy. Don't get too down on yourself, and just be steady with everything you do. And if you do everything, you put the extra work in, it'll work out for you.
Chad, what's it been like for you transitioning as well from an assistant coach at the university level? And I know your first season with the Rattlers, you were an assistant coach to Greg Jacobson, and then to jump into being head coach. And Kemi's talking about some of the mental toughness that you need, and these guys, stay playing all year round. How's that been for you, adjusting, as a head coach, trying to keep that in mind with some of these guys, and maybe how you want to work with them, and compared to what your role would have been like as assistant coach? Because now you're the big guy, and you're making what could be career decisions on these guys as to their playing careers here.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's been a great opportunity, to continue my development as a coach and my progression as a coach. And I mean, I'm just blessed and very grateful for the opportunity that, the organization and our general manager, Barry Rawlick, who I work very closely with at the university, have given me here to be the head coach with the Rattlers. And yeah, it's a big change. I mean, now I'm the guy who's in the hot seat making the decisions, and there's more pressure when you're a head coach, without a doubt. You go from being an assistant where you're there to help the head coach and make his job easier and help, with whatever he needs help with. And now I'm the guy who's, making those decisions, and it's been good. I mean, this is what I want to do is coach the game of basketball and get paid to do it. And it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, getting paid is way better than being a volunteer. So I better be careful. My producer, Ian, who I work with, might be thinking I'm hinting, because mine is a volunteer position. But the amount of fun I've been having far outweighs the paycheck at the moment anyway. Want to talk to you about Fraser Valley. What can you tell us about the Bandits, both as a coach and Kemi? Who are you going to be responsible for trying to keep off the score sheet from the Bandits? Chad, I'll start with you first, and what you think you're going to be seeing on Saturday afternoon.
Sure. Well, what we know about the Bandits is last year under their new coach, they brought a real scrappy, competitive mindset. They had a bunch of tough guys on that team that competed hard, played really hard, and we expect them to come out with the same kind of mindset, that they're going to come out and not back down and play physical and play the way that they want to play. They've got a number of guys back from last year. They've got some guards back. Malcolm DeVivier, Merritt Clausen, some of these guys that were key pieces for them in the bubble. And they're solid players. They're pros. They've been playing professionally for a long time. And they give anybody matchup problems. And Obviously they've added some new pieces as well. I mean, some of the guys that were with the Rattlers from 2019, Alex Campbell, Shaquille Keith. I mean, I'm familiar with these guys from having worked with them a couple of years ago, and they've added some size as well. So they're going to be tough. There's never an easy out in this league, and we're going to be challenged when we go out there and play Saturday afternoon.
Kemi, who I guess asked you, who will you be guarding? And I guess would be right back at you, guarding you, and sort of what kinds of, without giving away too many secrets, in case they're tuned in today, what you're going to have to do on the court to help your team out, both offensively and defensively.
I don't know exactly who I'm going to be guarding yet, to be honest. But just in order to give us a chance to win the game, I got to be able to lead, defend, be an extension to coach on the court, put us in the right positions to score and defend. And I think if we do that, and like I said already, mental toughness, we got to be tough against that team. Not turn the ball over, and then we're going to give ourselves a chance to actually win the game.
Now you go from Saturday in BC, coming home, and Monday night you play your home opener with the Hamilton Honey Badgers, and I don't think they've made too many changes from last season either, Chad. So I think you probably know what kind of a game you're going to have against them.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have some key guys back from the bubble, but they've like most teams, they went out and got some new guys as well, and they've added some American players that have played at a high level and are talented guys, and they were good last year in the bubble. They were a good basketball team. They're well coached, and like I said, they always bring in top level talent. So like I said earlier, there's never an easy game in this league. Everybody, every team is loaded. Every team is well coached, and every night you're in for a battle.
Now Hamilton's very much a blue collar city, and I lived in Hamilton for 6 years doing my post-secondary work, and any team, junior, even at McMaster University, the teams were always kind of little rough and tougher than maybe some of the other teams. There was that kind of blue collar mentality. Kemi, is that what you found playing against the Honey Badgers? Is that kind of the two they bring to the court?
Yeah, not just them, to be honest. Every team, they're so good in this league. Every team plays hard, but they definitely we're a good team, like Coach said. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good start. Now I got one more question for you guys, and then I'll let you go because, Coach, I know you need to meet with your assistant coaches and talk about rosters. Kemi, I think you'd probably like to go and have a shower and have a chance to kind of rest up today and get ready for things to start. But I do appreciate you taking the time. Now I did notice when I was on the website, this is probably the biggest news going on here this week in the province is that Road Coffee and the Rattlers have announced Rattlers full court pressed coffee, Brazilian Peruvian mix of coffee beans. And I got to tell you, have you guys ever been with an organization where you got your own coffee here? And maybe there's coffee waiting for you guys in the other room that's the Rattlers full court pressed coffee. I think given that I know it's not a Rattlers coffee mug, but my hockey team's coffee mug is filled with another competitor, but I know, and I would have ordered a bag of coffee, so I'll have to do that after the show. But I think that's kind of cool, and and you guys might think I'm just being goofy, and yes, I am, but it's kind of a cool thing to have a coffee named for your team.
It is. And I'll tell you what, Linda, you're making a friend here with Kemi. I see the Montreal Canadiens Cup and the Expos logo in the background.
Yep.
Kemi's a proud Montreal guy through and through. So yep. I know he's happy to see that. But I could use a good cup of coffee right now, to be honest. So I guess I'll have to talk to our people and see about this Rattler coffee and what it's all about.
Well, yeah, there should be a few bags. And, now Barry might be hiding them on you. I don't know here, but, Kemi, you wouldn't also happen to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan for the NBA, would you?
No, I'm not a Bucks fan.
Okay, we got 2 out of 3.
I didn't really have a team that I was rooting for this year.
Okay.
just like
fair enough.
basketball. Yeah.
Chad, have you got in between all the work you're doing here? Have you got an NBA team that you and your family cheer for?
Well, I mean, I've been a Raptors fan for a long time, as a young kid, and obviously 2 years ago was a great time to be a Raptors fan, and this year was a little bit tougher. But I try and watch some of the NBA games to kind of see what's going on in the league and how teams are playing. But the schedule is pretty busy right now, so sitting down on the couch and watching an NBA game is hard to do at the moment. But
well, there is a Canadiens game on tonight, just in case you have a free moment once you get the roster set.
We might win this one. It's play. So
3,500 fans in the Bell Center are louder than 18,000 fans in Vegas or any other American arena. They rock like there's 25,000 in the Bell Center, and I so wish I could be there right now. Kemi, obviously you do too, and it will be a lot of fun tonight. Keep our fingers crossed. But I want to thank you both for coming on. Best of luck Saturday and again Monday with the home opener. And I'm looking forward to being in the stands when you can have the rest of us in there and catching some games this summer. So thank you again for joining me after practice. And again, good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks so much, Linda. Really appreciate you having us on your show.
All right. Take care.
All right.
So Chad Jacobson, Kemi Ossie, Kemi, a key part of this Rattlers basketball team, and happy to have them on. So let's talk. We'll go to NBA, and then I'll come back to hockey to talk about that. The conference finals are now on in the NBA. Eastern Conference Final has the Atlanta Hawks, who are just tearing things up in the playoffs. They are the number 5 ranked team. They have beaten the number 4 ranked New York Knicks in the opening round of the playoffs, and then took out the number 1 team, the Philadelphia 76ers, who just had a tremendous season this year to finish first in the Eastern Conference. That was a 7-game series. They wrapped up Sunday night. Last night, they opened up against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. Milwaukee took out the Brooklyn Nets in an overtime game. What a wild and crazy contest that was. Took care of them in overtime. So they get to host as the number 4 ranked team. And they lost to the Atlanta Hawks, 116-113. Tremendous game. Trae Young just drilling them from 3-point range. Was getting into the paint. Now, they were calling his shots in the paint teardrop shots. And I'm going to have to look that up to find out where that's coming from, whether that's something that Young has come up with. But he did a great job running the offense, defense. They were doing a nice job shutting guys down. Antetokounmpo was having a tough time in the paint at times, and Middleton not quite hitting what he does. Lopez looked a little lost out there. So a great job by the Hawks in shutting down the Bucks in Game 1. Now they will play again on Friday night, and of course, all games being televised now. Now out west, the Phoenix Suns, who have done a little chopping as well of teams. Now they beat the Nuggets 4-0 and are well rested coming up against the Clippers, who took out the number 1 team in the West, the Utah Jazz, who were just sailing along for a good chunk of the season. So now the Suns are up 2-0 over the Clippers. Now, Kawhi Leonard has been dealing with some injury issues, so that is not good for the LA Clippers here. So now that Game 3, they will be back in LA. We'll see what happens there. They are playing tonight. If you're not into hockey, if you want to watch some round ball, that game will be on tonight. Now, the NHL, Game 6, as you saw Kemi's eyes light up, back at the Bell Center. Montreal pulling off a huge win the other night against the Vegas Knights. And so they have a chance, as they are up 3-2, to wrap things up tonight at home. And wow, it is also Saint Jean-Baptiste Day in Montreal. And not just Montreal, in Quebec. So this is a holiday. Fans are going to be so primed for tonight's game. And if Montreal wins, oh my goodness, they will just be crazy. Montreal has not punched a ticket to the Stanley Cup Final since 1993. So this is huge for fans in that city and for me, other fans across the country. Now, the Islanders Lightning game is going to Game 7, and that will go tomorrow night. Crazy game. They got shellacked. The Islanders were shellacked, as you'll recall, in Game 5, 8-0. 8-0. They spent more time in the penalty box than having 5 guys on the ice in that game. They just, I don't know what was going on in their heads, but it wasn't hockey. So then somebody asked Barry Trotz about the character of his team. And Barry pointed out that there's not an issue with character on his team. And they proved it. They were down 2-0. If you missed it, they were down 2-0 in Game 6. They came back, tied the game, killed off a penalty late in the third period, took it to overtime, and I think it was like a minute 36 in, got the winning goal. So we are going to Game 7 in Tampa Bay. Anything and everything happens in a Game 7, no matter what sports you're playing. So wait and see. Now, if Vegas wins at the Bell Center, Game 7 will be played Saturday night, of course, back in Vegas, where it has been hugely hot and sweltering. So ice makers have been doing a good job with the ice. Give them full credit for that. So that wraps up basketball and hockey. Now, before we go, Ian's been waiting for this all game, all show. See, this is a game. It is my mini fashion show showing the shirts that are available. So now this is the Montreal Stanley Cup Playoffs shirt, standard shirt, nothing on the back. And then the one that I wore the other night, here we go, Champions of the North. Very sweet. And on the back, in case you forgot how they became champions of the North, look, the scores from round 1 and round 2 of the playoffs. Sweet. And then we have found this on another website, Sports Buff. Montreal Canadiens rule the North. Now, I have not had a chance to wear this one yet, but you can't go wrong as a fashion statement wearing that one. And then my ultimate favorite, and I cannot wait to go back to Ontario. Southern Ontario is where I grew up in Mississauga, and I cannot wait to go back to see some family friends who are big Leaf fans. So we have this infamous t-shirt, Carey Price making the Superman stop. We got also next to him, we have Paul Byron with the shorthanded winner in Game 1. And then we have got Nick Suzuki on the pass from Cole Caulfield, overtime winner. And then Jesperi Kotkaniemi with his overtime winner. And on the back, in case you forgot how this series was going, it was 3-1. So there you go, my fashion statements, my wardrobe for the coming days. Even if Montreal loses the series, I will still be loud and proud with my gear. And of course, as you saw earlier, this is the reverse retro coffee mug. It was a limited edition, so had to use it today. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to wrap up today's show, and I'm sure there's a number of folks, who are probably going, oh my God, somebody make her stop talking about Montreal. But hey, when they're all done, I will stop talking about Montreal until the next NHL season begins. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today, and especially Chad Jacobson and Kemi Osi for coming on and talking Rattlers basketball. Want to thank Ian Roach, who produces the show, Deborah Hobrick, takes care of all the social media. They are the folks responsible for No YXE, which is the website that my show comes through to you on. And anything and everything you want to know about Saskatoon, you want to go to No YXE, KNOW. And we are going to have SportsLine YXE shirts coming in that you're going to be able to buy, and I will fashion those for you on the show as well. On behalf of Giannis behind me and all the boys from the Canadiens, from Lefty Munster and Deanna, who are sitting on Expo coffee mugs, having a little chat, perhaps discussing the game tonight. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite speak Budgie all that well yet, but thanks so much for joining me. Wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, be safe out there, and we will talk to you next Thursday. Take care, everyone.